In this episode, I talk about hustle culture and burnout. Welcome to episode 200 of the Honest Entrepreneur Show, where I help creatives like you to master your marketing. My name's Tom Ross, and let's get into it. Man, 200 episodes. That went quick. It goes quicker than you expect when you pump out a show daily, but that feels like a milestone. And I just want to say a thank you to everyone who listens and watches to the show. You'd think I'd be more professional than that after 200. But yeah, seriously, you guys are amazing. I love the tribe, the little community that is built around this show. To be completely honest with all of you, I have done a terrible job of promoting this show. I am not doing any of the advice I would give anyone else. I am literally not even shouting about it on my other social platforms. So the show is very organically spreading, and it has been growing. But I know it would be a whole lot bigger and get a whole lot more ear holes and eyeballs if I actually promoted it. So that is something I'm going to be stepping up soon. The reach of the show is going to start exponentially increasing very shortly. But that is all the more reason why you early community who support the show mean the absolute most to me. So if you're here at this stage before the show gets bigger, then you're a rock star.
Hey Tom, congratulations on reaching episode 200. Here's a retrospective question about some of your earliest episodes. You started this show with two videos called Hustle Culture, Is It Killing Us? And Hustle Culture Ruined My Life. You've clearly learned from the experience of going too far down the hustle culture rabbit hole. What are some hustle culture red flags that you pay attention to these days? And how do you deal with the drive to succeed in healthier ways?
Hey, lovely Rachel, who does the voiceovers for the show and is part of Team Tom that makes all of this content happen. Obviously hustle culture has been a pretty major part of my life and caused some severe health issues and turmoil, but I've definitely learned a lot from it. And I feel like I'm super busy at the minute doing my personal brand, running my company and producing all this content, but I definitely feel like I've got more of a balance. I actually feel really good at the moment. So some of my tips and red flags, I'll start with the tips, right? Delegation, huge, right? I've got Marco here by the camera, Rachel, you of course, and Teresa as well. So I've got 3 part-time people helping with my personal brand right now. I could not do it without them. I could not put in the hours without burning myself to a crisp. So delegation is number 1. That's something I didn't do in the first year of my company fast enough, and that's why I got so burnt out. Also, being more yourself. When I was trying to be Gary Vaynerchuck, that's when I was really not being myself and I was living someone else's life and I just couldn't handle it. So that's a recipe for disaster. And to this day, I can hear people that have been listening to some Gary Vee or some influencer like that, and they're regurgitating their bullshit in my face. And I just think you're being so inauthentic and a bit embarrassing, and you're on a road to burnout. And I can see my younger self in them because I did exactly the same thing. And I remember I went to Gay Pride actually. My friend worked for eBay. They put on a whole kind of float thing for eBay. We joined the eBay team and marched Gay Pride through London in front of hundreds of thousands of people. That's a whole different story, but that was a crazy experience. And I remember talking to one of the eBay team afterwards, and this was after I'd had the surgery. I was poked full of holes and scars, and I started like regurgitating Gary Vee shit in her face, like telling her if she wanted her photography passion enough, then she'd work harder, and why wasn't she? And in my head, I was trying to be inspiring and helpful, but really I think I came off like a bit of a dickhead, especially when I was there like emaciated and ill looking with scars. I'm not exactly the spokesperson for how it's done. So yeah, be yourself, delegate if you can. I think as well, have the hard stops and the list. I posted this list not too long ago on my Instagram where it's like my must-haves for balance. So I have to get 8 hours sleep at night. I have to be in bed by this time. I have to not work more than this number of hours in a day. I have to stop for lunch. I have to drink water. All of these things for my health, they're non-negotiable. So I have to do them the same way I have to brush my teeth or shower each day. And by abiding by that list, that keeps me in check. What else? I feel like I got some good stuff. I'm getting smarter a little bit with my time, trying to be a bit more ruthless and a bit more productive, but not in a kind of hustle productivity hacking way. More just stop wasting time on dumb shit. Stop scrolling on Instagram so much, because that does eat into the hours. And when you don't have many, that does push your bedtime later, and that kind of thing. Yeah, really. And I mean, red flags, like I say, there's a ton of them. Like when you start creaking, and you feel like you're not yourself, you start getting overly tired, you start perpetually feeling like you're pushing through that barrier. Something I've learned with my business, no one can operate at 100% all the time, including our team. And we have periods where it's 110%, it's go, 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 go. But the managers here and the directors, they will actively say to the team, we got to take you guys back to 70 or 60 even, because that's where you should be. That's more sustainable. You can get the little bursts and the little sprints, but we know if we ran ourselves or the team like that all the time, people would be miserable, people would burn out. So I think you need to recognize that as much as ambition is good, it's not about trying to be 100% all the time, because no one can do that. So ticking along at 70 or 80%, that might feel practically painful for very ambitious people. I know it has for me historically, but you realize it's that thing. You can't sprint a marathon. It's a better long-term sustainable approach. And I posted on my Instagram recently a little vlog about my new morning and evening routine. I literally say a mantra to myself every evening. This is how much I need to rewire my head. And it goes something like, there will still be more work waiting for me tomorrow, but now is the time for bed. There will still be more work waiting for me tomorrow, but now is time for bed. There will still be more work waiting for me tomorrow, but now is the time for bed. And that might sound silly, especially saying it in this context, but that really helps me to say it, because there will be more work. And what I've noticed is the more I work, the more work it creates. The more DMs I respond to, the more DMs I have in my inbox. And realizing no matter how hard I work, no matter how much I do, it will not clear out my to-do list. It will not get all the work done. It will actually cause the work to grow. So I have to cut it off. I have to tell myself it's still going to be there tomorrow. And all of that is honestly how I avoid slipping back into my old hustle burnout ways. Question of the day: do you feel burnt out now or recently? And if so, did the tips in this episode help you? Let me know in the comments below. Hey YouTube person, this is definitely not staged at all. But if you enjoyed this video, I would love it if you subscribe to my channel for more goodness like this. And if you did like this video, I hope that you enjoyed these ones too.